Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. I hope you're having a great week so far. We are doing great over the last 7 days. I finally hit my goal of over $5,000 in sales, which I will show you on my List Perfectly Sales and Analytics. And I'm going to show you on eBay as well, so you can kind of see day to day what we have been doing. That is my goal for the week. My ultimate goal is $5,000 per week, which is, probably, I haven't even done the math. I want to say it's like a little over $700 a day. So I always say I want to hit at least 500 because that's my minimum. That will be 3,500 a week and would get us to 14,000. But 5,000 a week would get us to 20,000, which is really where I'd like to be. If you don't know me, my name is Kat. I am a full-time reseller. I have 9,000 items listed. So when you hear my numbers, try not to compare yourself to me if you don't have that many. But I will say there are a lot of people just as successful as me, making more money than me with under 1,000 listings. So my business model combines some longer tail items because I buy a lot of estate lots and I have a ton of space. But if that is not your situation, you might not want to mix it up. You might want to stay with those faster selling items. So everything I'm going to show you, I will tell you where I got it. I will tell you how long it was listed and took to sell if I took an offer, and I will tell you the profit that I made. So let's go ahead. I am going to start with the sales and analytics from List Perfectly. We'll look at the other platforms that aren't eBay. eBay is our main platform, so we'll finish it up with a good selection of our eBay sales. So I have pulled up here our last 7 days. I love this feature of List Perfectly. It is the sales and analytics feature that shows me what sales came from where. Now, my net profit is not a true net profit because I don't put in my cost of goods. I put in on a few things, but my cost of goods was definitely more than $24. I've got to think if I want to start putting in my cost of goods, that might be something I want to do. But as of right now, it's not something I do regularly. Now, we'll take a look here. eBay is close to 85% of our sales. Second up is going to be Poshmark at 467 for 8% of our sales. Etsy is at 326, and poor little Mercari is down here with a $69 sale and only 1.21% of sales. So if you're wondering if you should cross post, if you sell items like me, I am going to recommend Poshmark for sure as a second platform. List Perfectly offers sharing included in their packages, as well as automatically sending offers, which is how I get the majority of my sales. So if you're kind of intimidated by the whole social aspect of Poshmark, don't be, especially if you have List Perfectly. And I believe now you can share your whole closet with one button where you used to have to click on all of them. So it's a lot easier than it used to be. And then if you do vintage stuff or handmade stuff, I definitely would recommend Etsy as well. I like Mercari. I'm not saying I don't. I'm going to click to 30 days just to kind of give a little bigger picture. So over 30 days, we've done 639. It's still 3%. So if I were to drop a platform, it would be clear to me from this analytics page that Mercari would be the one that I would drop. But it only takes me about 30 seconds per listing to get them onto Mercari. So at this point, I'm really not worried about the time that it's taking to get those listings there. So we're actually going to start with Mercari. I'm only going to show you one from Mercari, one from Etsy, and then I've got 5 from Posh, and then I'm going to show you over 20 from eBay that have sold in the last 7 days. So first up, this was a bundle. I love getting bundles over on Mercari. This bundle sold for $25. I had them priced at $32. I picked these up at the thrift store for about $1 each. So these are actually still going to be close to a $20 profit. They are the cutest thing ever. It's a little rabbit bowl and then a little giraffe bowl. So I had them priced at $16 each. They have been listed for a long time though, so I am happy to see those go. And the nice thing for the buyer is they get combined shipping, and Mercari actually will pay the excess in shipping if you sell a bundle over what your buyer paid. That is not your responsibility. First on Etsy is this vintage Japan red ceramic figurine. I did put apple themed pixie elf, and I did put Reed because you can see that big old chip there on the head. So normally I try to stay around $50 and higher on the items I put on Etsy, but this one somehow screamed to me like put me on Etsy. So she is super duper cute. And I only paid a couple dollars. So she's over a $20 profit. You can see the Japan there. And I did get her in an online auction lot. She is very small, super cute, but again, has the multiple chips that you see throughout the pictures. So I wanted to make sure that I notated that. And this one sold in just a few months. Next up is a pair of Taxco sterling earrings. They have the abalone inlay and they're round. I put Aztec geometric and sign. $40 sale on these. I'm about $5 in. So these are about a $26 profit, and they didn't take very long to sell. These sold in under a month. So pretty fast. And if you guys want me to start only showing you the faster sales, I definitely can, but I try and throw in those slower ones as well, because I know some of you might have a business model just like I do. Here you can see the TO. So that is that Taxco marking on these, and an excellent sale over on Etsy. We are moving on over to Poshmark now. This is a vintage LL Bean sweater, women's large gray Sherpa fleece. I picked this up at the thrift store for $1. It sold for $30. The payout was $24, so it's a $23 profit. If you do not know, Poshmark charges 20% in fees. I end up paying about that on eBay as well, sometimes a little more because I do promote my items high over on eBay. So this one is a great profit, and it sold in about 2 months. These vintage black floral cloth napkins, set of 8, I picked up at the thrift store for $2. Payout was $18.50, so they are $16.50 profit. These took about 6 months though, so they were a little bit longer, which can be typical with those vintage linens, especially unbranded. So I want to point out these do not have a brand, so that does make it a little bit harder to sell them. But you can see I put black floral, I also put rose pattern, I put Victorian and formal dining. So I really want to hit all of those keywords because I don't have a brand name to sell them. Next up was a very fast sale. This is a vintage brass cuff. I did put fruit intricate cornucopia design. I also put reed. That means there is some flaw with it. So payout on this one was $22. I paid about $4 for this one. So it's about an $18 profit, but very, very fast. I do well with jewelry over on Poshmark. I actually do well with jewelry on all the platforms. So if you do jewelry, I would recommend putting it all over the place. So you can see here, there's some tarnishing to the inside of that bracelet. That is why we put to read. And I love these bracelet measures. If you don't have one, I'm going to tag them. They are really low cost and they're excellent for showing the size of the bracelets. So here you can see some of that tarnishing and rusting actually came through to the front. So we wanted to make sure that people saw that. And this was still an excellent sale, very fast. Pier 1 is a brand that I absolutely love to sell, whether it is dining items, it is bedding items, it is decor items. I absolutely do very, very well with Pier 1. So this is Pier 1 Imports wine glasses, set of 4. I did identify that using Google Lens. They sold for $40. The payout was $2. I got these, or payout was $32. I got these in an online auction lot, so I'm about $2 into them. So they're about a $30 profit. Now, these did take about 8 months to sell, so it was longer. And we had them in that little wine glass bag. I'm not sure if we shipped that out with them, but it was nice to kind of hold them in. So we probably did. If I show something in the photographs, I typically am going to send that with the item. And this is actually the last one for Poshmark. So we're going to go ahead and move on over to eBay now. All right, my friends, this is the best our chart has looked in a very long time, and I'm very happy with it. So today we are at $555. For the last 7 days, we are at 47.61. We are up 41% over last month. So we have sold $16,601 the last 31 days, which is good because that's not much less than half. So of the last 90 days. Definitely a great improvement. One I want to keep up, which I will do by sourcing good inventory and making sure I'm listing. So 90-day totals at 38, trying to get to 40, then 50, and ultimately the goal is to get to 60. So what I'm going to show you today are 20 to 25 sales from the last week under $50. And on Friday, I am going to show you the high dollar ones, and we have had a lot. So I told you the 555 today. Yesterday was 672. Sunday, we were at 674. 415 Saturday, 670 Friday. Last Thursday was 629. Last Wednesday, a week ago, was beautiful at 1153. So let's go ahead, take a look at these bread and butter items under $50, and make sure you tune in for Friday for those higher dollar sales. We are starting off with a Fenton piece that took a while to sell. And when I say a while, it took right at a year. This is a vintage Fenton coin dot pedestal, green bubble glass. It was 9 inches. So I had this on sale already at 40% off. I actually have 2 sales going until Sunday. One is for 40%, one is for 60%. I'm trying to move those older items, get money in to buy better inventory. So I accepted a best offer on this one at $48. I originally paid $10. So this one is going to be about a $30 profit. And it is a really, really pretty piece. Some Fenton, though, is not as in demand. In my experience, the custard glass and the animals tend to do a lot better than your basic vases like this one. Up next is a Tito's Vodka Black Bikini set. I did put sexy, high-waisted, small, 2-piece, sporty, and beach. Sold for full price in 5 months. Got this in an online auction lot with a lot of bathing suits. So I'm $2 into this. So this one's a $17 profit. Not too long for this one to sell. I would watch for like your alcohol stuff, whether it is bathing suits like this, towels, different promotional merchandise tends to sell very well. This caftan dress only took 2 months to sell. It sold for $45, and I purchased it from an online auction lot where I get a lot of my Southwest items. So I put dress geometric, red, yellow, Native American, size medium. I got it in a lot with a bunch of Native American regalia from their dance ceremonies. So I actually didn't pay about $5 for this one, making it a $32 profit pretty fast. And it looks kind of basic, but this one is a gorgeous piece and it sold very fast. Next up is a lot of Hallmark ornaments. I did these on auction. I started them at $19.99. So right at $1 a piece, which is about what I pay. But we have been listing so many Hallmark ornaments. We were just kind of over them. And I'm like, look, let's just get through them. Lot the rest of those up. We'll throw them up on auction. So we got 3 bids. They sold for $27. They actually sold to Miss Debbie, who is a viewer. So thank you for your purchase. I did notice that it was you. And there are a bunch of different good ones in here. There's animals, there's sports, $19.99 kitten. And yeah, some really, really cute ones. We just, again, we had been listing so many, we were kind of over them. So we decided to lot them up. This fleece blanket has a gorgeous Southwestern Aztec print, and it sold in only a month, pretty fast. I got it in an online estate lot. I love getting blanket lots. They are like the downfall of me. I just put a ton of those blankets on sale at 60% off. So to try and move them so I can get new blankets, because if they haven't sold in a year, I'm willing to kind of cut my losses and I want to be able to buy new blankets. So this one sold super fast. So for $30, I paid $5. It is a $18 profit. Beautiful reversible. I actually like the blue better. I should have switched that. And here you can see Western Trading Blankets. It was branded, which I do think helps sell things. And this one was a very, very fast sale. Next up is a Reebok Cardinals Larry Fitzgerald jersey. We did put Reed. This one had stains. This one's another one. I buy sports lots on online auctions a lot as well because I absolutely love football and baseball. So this one sold in only 2 months and I am under $5 for it. So about a $16 profit. And here you can see that it did have stains on it. That is why we put Reed in that title. And it also had a couple of little tears. So we want to make sure with any flaws that you highlight them so the buyer is aware. And here you can see we put the Reed, and then here in the condition, we also put the stain as well as the small holes, and to see the pictures. This condition box is something that's only available if you're listing online, if you are wondering where that is. This Gap sweater only took 2 months to sell. It is a lamb's wool nylon turtleneck. So I got it because it had that lamb's wool in it. So when I see wool or cashmere, even if it's only a blend, I still tend to pick it up. And I only paid a couple dollars, sold in 2 months. So over a $25 profit on this one. I did put Fair Isle pattern and stripe. Really cool. I actually didn't put it, but this one has pockets. That would have been a great keyword to add to this one. So here you can see Gap made in China, and it's actually 80% lamb's wool. So it was the majority lamb's wool. It felt very, very nice, and this was an excellent sale. This heart brooch is unbranded, and it was a 3-month sale, full price, sold for $27. I paid $5. So most of my smaller sterling items, I try and stay right at $5 in online estate lots. With some of the bigger, nicer pieces, I'll go up to $10. And then with branded like J. King, I'll go up to $20 a piece, just to give you guys a general idea of what I'm paying for jewelry. When it comes to costume, if it's not branded, I tend to stay around $1 to $2 per piece. So with this one, I put a brooch, scarf, clip, and lapel, $27 sale, and it is a $17 to $18 profit. Again, not branded, which is nice. It was big. It was over 2 inches, so that is why I put large. And this one would be perfect to like tuck a scarf through, so that is why I put that in the title. Very, very fast sale on these dangle earrings. I did put mid-century modern UFO. They are jade. And I also put avocado because they have that avocado green bead up top there. Accepted a best offer of 21 on these. I am only $2 into these. So these are a $15 profit in under a month. Very, very fast. These are not sterling, or they actually might be. It looks like they were branded, but they weren't in one of my sterling lots, so I didn't pay as much for them. These Lenox holiday ornaments took 10 months to sell. They were listed last December. It's a lot of 4. So I put them, look, I put a lot of 4. I cannot count. It is a lot of 5. So they sold for a best offer on 30. I'm only a couple dollars in. They were in a big ornament lot. So they're about a $23 profit. They took 10 months. I put them together because individually they were only worth like $5 to $10 each. So I do tend to group stuff up like that if I have multiples. And then we do show individual pictures of the ornaments. These were not sterling silver. They were just decorative pieces. So I'm happy to get that $30, even though they did take 10 months to sell. I have to have at least one of these in every video. I think there are 2 in today's. This is a Tick cycling jacket, extra small, black and white polka dot, full zip, long sleeve jersey. If you don't watch my catch treasure hunting channel, which is my thrifting channel, definitely head over there and subscribe. This one sold for full price in about 5 months. I paid $1 for this. So this one's a $17 to $18 profit. And here you can see the Tick brand, extra small. With cyclists, I feel like isn't as hard as normal clothes to sell the smaller sizes because most cyclists are on the smaller side. And here you can see the pockets on the back, which helps you identify the cycling jacket or jersey. And I am happy with a 5-month sale because overall on the lot of these, I've made an excellent, excellent profit. I could not leave these behind. Pick these up at the thrift store. They were 50 cents each, so $2 into them, and they are a $30 profit. So I titled them Set of 4 Vintage Geometric Glass Tumblers or Juice Cups, Gold Rim, Blue Green, and Nordic, and full price in only 2 months. So very, very happy with that sale. I love the mid-century modern stuff. I actually have a research video on mid-century modern if you would like to watch it. Very, very fast sale on this vintage Mr. Burns singing Have a Merry Christmas, new in the box. I picked up a ton of Simpsons stuff, and I have historically done very well with Simpsons stuff. I absolutely love selling it. And I only paid $5 for this one. So this one is going to be a $30 profit in less than a month. Very, very fast. I've sold quite a few of the Simpsons pieces. I have sold them here on eBay as well as on Etsy and Poshmark as well. So they have been selling across most of the platforms very well for us. And I believe we also sold one over on Whatnot on the Static Marketplace. I absolutely love this black onyx letter opener. I put Aztec Mayan knife mask face, sold for 25, full price, but took a year to sell. So longer period to sell, and it sold at full price. So I'm super happy with that. And I paid $5 for this originally. It was in one of my online jewelry lots. So this is about a $16 profit, but didn't take up a ton of space. Yes, well, I have that it's 10 inches. It's actually only 8. So hopefully this one doesn't come back. I catch a few mistakes when I'm looking through these solds, and that might have been the AI reading that as it being 10 and a half. So if you're using an AI lister, make sure you double check over the specs and things like that it puts. I was so excited when I found this thing, but there was only one that had sold in the last 10 years. So it's kind of hard to tell the demand on something that is so rare. So this is a spaghetti time enamel cooking pot. I did put working timer. It was kind of cool. And I'll show you, it had like the different types of pasta and how long they took to cook. So this is one I put on that 40% off because I had it for so long, and I actually paid $10 for this one. So I did pay up because I thought it would sell at $65. I still made a $28 profit on it, but this is big. It took up a lot of space and it took a long time. So that's kind of a lesson here. And here you can see it was really neat. You can see it has all the different types of pastas in their cook time, which I absolutely love, but it took forever. Again, though, none were listed on eBay at the time I bought it, and there was only one on WorthPoint for the last 10 years. I think this young lady wins the prize for the longest that it took to sell. She took 3 years to sell. This is a vintage fashion corner, our favorite teacher, African clone doll. It was not branded Barbie. Lucky was the brand. I paid $10 for this. So it is going to be a $24 profit, 3 years for this Barbie doll. I bought a ton. It's not a Barbie though. That was a lesson. I think I thought that these were Barbie branded when I bought them, but I found out that they were not. And I do think that's why it took a little longer to sell. Very, very fast full price sale on this. And I want to point out to you, it says read. And if you look under my condition, it says the clasp is broken. Please see pictures. So where it slides into the bracelet, and I'm going to show you, it was missing. It had completely broke off, but the safety chain was still there. So somebody could probably wear this as a bangle, or if they have enough knowledge, they could fix it. I think it would take like a soldering though. I'm not sure, but sold real fast, $44.99. I paid $5. This one is a $32 profit, and it was broken. So my employee was like, are you sure you want to list this? Here you can see there should be a tab sticking out here that slides into there. It was gone. And I figured since it was branded, I knew it was Dunn Brothers, and ones that weren't broke were selling around the $90 to $100 point. I marked it half off and it sold very, very fast. This horse ring took 3 months to sell. I accepted a best offer of $40. I paid 5, so it's about a $28 profit. I put horseshoe ring. It was size 9, so I think a pretty good size. I put Western Cowboy Equestrian, and here you can see it on the ring holder. I bought a lot of equestrian jewelry, which for me has been selling pretty well. I have been happy with it. Some of it was sterling and some of it was costume. And I actually have sold some of both pieces. And again, I've had them about 3 months. Very, very fast sale on these waterfall earrings. I put vintage crystal dangle clip-on baguette, which is my favorite cut. It is those little rectangle ones. These sold for $31.49 in only 2 weeks. So I think it was a lot of keywording, and I only paid a couple dollars for these. So they're about a $23 profit, very, very fast. Now, for me, the clear rhinestone jewelry that is unbranded has kind of been hit or miss, but these were pretty impressive, and I'm very happy with the sale. Another of the jade items that's sold very, very fast. These are vintage golden green jade cube drop dangle earrings. I did put a boho and I put earrings twice. So there's me not utilizing my keyword space well. We did put C because one of the backs was missing. So these are also only a couple dollar buy, $16 profit in only 2 weeks. I do very, very well with jade. I don't think I tested these to see if they were gold. I probably should have. We have been testing most things. Tyler, my boyfriend, actually is great at jewelry testing. So I've kind of delegated that out to him. So as newer stuff is coming in, we are testing a little bit more than we were previously for some of the vintage gold tone jewelry. These Delta Airlines cups took a while to sell. They took about a year and a half, but I picked them up for, it was either 10 cents or a quarter. So my max in was $1 into these. I got them at a church thrift store. I actually remember when I picked them up, and they are going to be a 18, almost $19 profit. So airline stuff, I like picking up. And you can see they actually had different markings on these, even though they were the same cup. There is a chip there on that one, and we did show that. So these took a year and a half, but profit was 18. I would say now where I'm at in my business, I probably would not pick these up again. Another very, very fast jewelry sale. If you have not noticed, a lot of my sales have been jewelry because I have been buying a lot of jewelry. I really like the thought of taking up less space, even though I do have quite a bit of it available to me. I like the jewelry. It's small, it's easy to ship, it's easy to list, and I can find it pretty readily on online auctions. So this one was listed less than a month. It sold for a best offer of $35. I paid 5, so this one's a $24 profit, and it's just like an XO sterling link bracelet, and it does say that PHI up top, so this one was made in Thailand. Again, that bracelet measure cone is absolutely excellent to have if you are selling jewelry. This is the second of the cycling jerseys that I sold over this week, and this one, again, 5 months is when I picked them all up. This one is a Zoot brand, and it is a jersey. So the other one was longer sleeve. This one's a $19 profit. Again, dollar pickup at the thrift store. And here you can see it is small, and I love cycling shirts. I know I've been saying it, but it is kind of a specialized niche market in clothes that they're very easy to identify, and they have sold pretty well for me over the years. Another very, very fast sale is this vintage sterling silver perfume bottle or poison pendant and necklace. It did have an 18-inch necklace with it. This one I am $5 into, and it sold in under 2 weeks. So profit on this is $21. And I absolutely love this piece. If you see poison rings or poison necklaces, I recommend picking them up. This had a beautiful square Italian chain with it as well. So for me, when I get items like this on auctions, I typically leave the necklace with the pendant. Let me know, because I'm kind of thinking of it now. I don't know if I should pull these chains and keep them to have sterling weight, almost as like an investment, because the price of sterling is going up. So that kind of just crossed my mind right now. If you do a lot of jewelry, let me know. Do you think it's important to leave the necklace with it, or do most people have necklaces already? Because I know myself, I have quite a few necklaces I put pendants on. So for me, I wouldn't care if it had a necklace with it or not. These tumblers took about 6 months to sell. They are Washington Redskins, which the name has now changed to Commanders. So I did put both in my title. I picked these up at the thrift store for $1 each. They sold at full price in that 6-month period, and they are going to be a $22 profit. So again, with the sports stuff, I watch for it when I'm out thrifting. I also watch for it on online estate auctions, and I absolutely love picking it up and selling it. These Allegrias, I thought were my Allegrias, but they are not because I don't wear a size 9. I actually have tiny feet. I picked these up at a thrift store. I believe I paid 5. They did take a year to sell. So these are going to be a $20 profit. I probably would pick these up again. These are great nursing shoes. I didn't put that in my title. That might have helped me a little bit. Really, really pretty though with the embossing. They were brand new in the box, which you don't find at the thrift stores very often. I am absolutely loving all these fast jewelry sales. This is another one that sold in under a month. And this one is not precious metals. So I really love those because I'm only $2 into this. So $14 profit, very, very fast. And this is one traditionally I would send to Whatnot. I was thinking there might be a little more value, but once I've given it to my employee to photograph and list, I am going to put it up there, even if it's only worth 15, because I already paid her to take the time to photograph it. Last up for eBay is one that actually sold today. This is a scarab beetle ring. I love selling anything scarab. I absolutely do. So this one is not sterling silver. This one is only silver tone. It's an adjustable ring, and it sold for $45 very, very fast. I paid $5 for it. It sold in under a month. It is a $32 profit. If you see scarab beetle stuff, please pay attention. And again, not precious metals, my friend. So scarab stuff for me has sold well, whether it has been sterling silver or just silver tone. I tend to sell it pretty fast. All right, that was everything. I hope you enjoyed tons of sales, tons of good stuff to look out for. I hope you learned a lot. Make sure you're subscribed, hit the thumbs up. I think there's a new like boost feature. If you see that, I would love it if you would use it on me to help my video get seen more. Share with your friends if you think they'll like it. Let me know if you do down in the comments. I really do appreciate you watching. I appreciate your support, and I will see you on the next one.